Welcome to Bold and Beautiful with a glass of wine, the safe spot for women to come bare and be vulnerable and not be judged by it. Pouring their hearts out and speaking the truth of what they've been through and still going through to societal construct of what's expected of them. Together we're strong, together we'll overcome. So now, take a sip, take a deep breath, relax, block out the noise. Now let's talk. My name is Flora Chiedo and welcome to my podcast. Welcome to the very first episode of Bold and Beautiful with a glass of wine. Hey, I'm going to do like a little breakdown of what, this entire podcast is going to be about. First of all, I call this my little therapy session. Why I say that is because this is like, that safe place for women, to come and have like heart-to-heart discussions, talk about every single thing they go through, every single thing they have to put up with every single day of their life. So this is like that safe place for them to come and not be judged by whatever it is, whatever decision it is that they make every day. I'm going to be bringing women on here to come share, personal stories. This is not fictional. This is nothing you just go on social media and read. Of someone posting, writing about whatever it is they go through. This is you sitting in the comfort of your homes, offices, or wherever you are, and listening to real women talk about real things that actually happens in their life. What some people have to deal with. You get to hear stories of what people have to put up with every single day of their life. So they'll be coming on here to share their stories. You see how you go on social media and then you read something off social media of, someone saying or writing something, they go through every day and they remain anonymous. This is something like that. But this is different because this is you now listening to them really say it. Because I see stories of, how people write things and then when they send it to some people and then they post on social media, people go and say, oh, you came up with that. That story is not real, it's fake. You came up with that story and then you posted it for people to just see. All for clout. But this is not us doing anything for clout. This is, actual stories of actual situations that people have to deal with every single day of their life. Let me do a breakdown of Bold and Beautiful with a glass of wine first. I came up with that name because I remember when I was thinking about one name to use for this podcast and I knew I wanted to do this for women. I was like, yes, I know women are beautiful. So that's another thing. I know women are beautiful. So I thought of a lot of names. I thought of, names to describe the woman. I thought of a lot of things. And the first thing that came to mind was beautiful. I also thought of the fact that anyone that decides to come on this show, anyone that decides to come on here to say their truth, to inspire the next woman out there is bold. It takes a very confident and bold woman to want to do that because a lot of people would rather keep a lot of things to themselves. But whoever decides to come on here is really bold and I really appreciate them for that. I didn't just want it to be basic and just there. I wanted to add some drama to it and I thought of, first thing that came into my mind was wine. Maybe because I love red wine, that's why. But I thought of something else and I was like, bold and beautiful with a glass of wine. Because I know for a fact wine makes some people relax. Well, it makes me relax. So let me speak for myself, So I was like, I also said, anytime we're having an episode, every episode would always have a bottle of wine. So everybody can drink and be relaxed because this is actually therapy because whatever discussion we're going to have is going to be deep. So, there are a lot of things you would hear and you would even know how to react. You just want to take a sip and be calm, So yes, I just at the top of my head, I just came up with, Bold and Beautiful with a glass of wine. It might not make sense to some people, but it really made sense to me. I loved it. So I liked the Bold and Beautiful and then I added, the extra drama to it, which was glass of wine. Yeah, so that's it. We know it's tough to be a woman, how much more being a black African woman. What the woman has to deal with every single day of her life is a lot. I'm not going to sit down here and give you like the whole story right now. We're going to split it all into episodes, and I didn't want to do this alone. I didn't just want to come here, bore you guys talking about, this is what women go through. I want you to actually listen to what they have to put up with, because I realized that, the society constantly wants to dictate and control, the woman. They constantly want to control, how you talk, how you dress, the kind of profession you decide to do. They tell you things like, don't be opinionated. They want to constantly, control the woman. And even as single women, I feel like single women also have to put up with a lot, in the society, because I've heard stories of single women go through situations where they can't ask for increase in salary, they can't ask for promotions in their workplace, because you have their bosses ask them questions like, who are you feeding? It's just you. How many mouths do you get to feed? Questions like that. Even when single women want to live alone, people feel, they shouldn't live alone. The people feel they should be in the control of someone, of a male figure, somebody. Even stories of how, girls decide to have like a girls' hangout, normal girls' hangout, and then they're all tagged prostitutes because, there's no male figure in their midst. So they feel, why would all girls just decide to go out and have fun? Just platonic relationship, just girls going out to have fun. People have issues with that. It's a lot of things that goes on in society. People need to understand that it's okay for people not to want something, and it's okay for people to want something. People don't need to do it because the society approves of it. You need to do it for your own self-happiness. So at the end of the day, I keep telling people something: self-love and self-care is all that matters. Self-happiness is key. At the end of the day, you come first before anybody. Nobody gives you happiness. You give yourself happiness before anybody comes to add happiness to your life. So yeah, it's gonna be, a lot of things we're gonna be talking on here. Like, I tell people things like, why pressurize anybody to do certain things? Why pressurize young women to get married? Why pressurize people to... Why pressurize anybody over money? Why pressurize anybody over children? And why make people stay in situations that does them no good? Why pressurize people? Why... I feel like it's gotten to a point where a lot of people find themselves in abusive relationships and they don't want to come out because of, the narrative of what would the society say, and some parents would advise their kids not to come out of abusive relationships because they feel, they stayed during their time. So why stay? So why, what's the divorce when it comes to, their generation? They feel like, they stayed and tolerated a lot of things in their own time, so their child is not about to, come out and be a divorcee or whatever. I tell people something. Say, it's better to have a broken marriage or a broken relationship than to have a dead child. It's better to be alive. It's better to walk away from that situation and be alive than be in it and die in the long run. Because at the end of the day, all this pressure leads to inferiority complex, it leads to depression, worst of all, it leads to suicide. I don't think anybody wants to go through all of that for anybody. At the end of the day, you have to take your time. You need to work at your own pace. You need to run your own race, protect your sanity, guard your peace of mind and work towards your goals and anything that makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, you're beautifully and wonderfully made, and putting yourself first isn't selfish, it's necessary. I keep telling people that, at the end of the day, don't feel guilty for putting yourself first. Don't feel guilty for wanting to love yourself first. Nobody should make anybody feel that way. So this is going to be like a lot of things we're going to be talking about. I don't want to do all the talking right now. I just wanted to like a little breakdown of what this entire podcast is going to be about. So for every episode, we're going to be having guests. We're going to be having people come on here and discuss. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of things. I don't even know if people are ready for this. Even I am not ready for this, because I know it's going to be a lot. People are going to talk and I'm ready for it. So this is going to be like that little therapy session where people can come and feel safe, because we're not here to judge anybody. We believe that everybody has a choice. Everybody should be given and allowed to make whatever decision they feel is okay and good for them, and something that's not detrimental to their health. So a lot of people will be coming on here. I think that's like, that's like the breakdown of what the entire podcast is going to be about. Yes, so I I would have said I would give like a list of all the topics we'll be talking about, but nah, I don't really have topics to list out right now because it's going to be a lot. It's going to be according to people reaching out. If anybody reaches out right now and wants to talk on domestic violence, then we treat domestic violence that week. If people reach out and want to talk on rape, if people reach out and want to talk on different things, whatever the topic is that people reach out for, we'll just discuss it that week. So it's just gonna be us having fun, just discussing a lot of things. It's nothing scripted. It's nothing, we'll say, oh, this week we'll talk on this week we'll treat that topic, this week we'll treat that topic. No, it's not a movie. This is real life story, of what is going on. So it depends on who is reaching out and what they're reaching out for. So whatever topic it is, we'll just treat it that week. So people can also send in questions, send in stories. We'll also get to discuss it here when we bring in guests. People can send in stories on our social media handles, and then we'll get to discuss it here also, and have that communication on it. If you want to come in, if you want to be like a guest on the show, you can also reach out to me on all my social media platforms. I'm gonna drop it right there in the description below, and you can reach out. If you want to come on, would always be glad and with open arms would welcome you, for every episode or whatever episode you want to come on. So yeah, that's basically what the entire podcast is going to be about. So thank you so much for listening in. I look forward to every episode we're going to have. I look forward to our very next one. We're going to release one episode per week. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be like every Monday you have something to listen to start your week with. We release the next episode every Monday for every week. So it's like one episode per week. That's how we're going to be putting it out there per week, or maybe every 2 weeks. It depends. Sometimes, we might talk about something so serious. I want to go like on a long break. So everybody takes that all in before we come in for the next episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Bold and Beautiful with a glass of wine, and I am signing out.